Own a Chevy truck, you don't have a fuel filter. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. What's up, guys? So if you got a 1999 to 2007 Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburban, you know, Yukon Denali, you name it, more than likely you don't have an external fuel filter. Let's check it out. All right, we got two Chevrolet trucks today. Let's play with the Cateye Chevrolet. So this is an 06 right here. Then we got a mini Cateye. This is a 2002 Cateye Chevrolet. All right, so on a 1999 to 2002 Chevy truck, this is a Chevy Avalanche, you know, Chevy Silverado, it's all the same. You are going to have an external fuel filter. I will show you where it's located. So on the older trucks, this is the 2002. We're gonna go right down in here. Here is the driver door. You know, we're gonna go up under the truck in this general location and see if there's a filter. Yep, see, there's the fuel filter right there. You know, they're not hard to get off. You just gotta pop the little tabs and then pull the hard fuel lines out of the way. You know, the fuel's gonna drain everywhere. You know, you gotta get out of the way. It's gonna leak and rain on you, but it is what it is. So get a new filter, cheap, pop it up in there, use brake flare line wrenches so that you don't strip out the fuel lines down here because they are a pain to replace. So on 2003 to 2007 Chevy trucks, you are not going to have an external fuel filter. They took them off and they're not on there anymore. They're not on the frame rail for whatever reason. They got rid of them. They built them into the gas tank under the bed, so you know they run fine how they're set up. There's no need to add any kind of external fuel filtration. You know, they're fine. The gasoline trucks are fine how they're set up, but you know, if you're going looking for a fuel filter to change out, it's not there. You're wasting time. So on the 2006 Cateye right here, the Vortec, this is a 4.8 V8. And then over here, we got a 5.3 Vortec V8, but it's the same. There's no fuel filter. It doesn't matter, you know, on the 06, if you got a 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0, there is no fuel filter. There is on this 2002, though. All right, so on a 2006 Silverado, we're going to go to the driver door, and we're going to go down in here and look and see if there's any filter. And nope, would you look at that? There is no fuel filter under here. Who would have thought? So, it's gone. Where did it go? They moved it, they put it somewhere else. Nope, it's nowhere. It's allegedly, supposedly in the tank on the fuel pump assembly, but you can't change anything out. You just gotta run it like this. So if you want my opinion between the 06 and then the 2002 with the external fuel filter, I mean, I never taken apart an 06 and seen a bunch of gunk in there. Whatever they did in the tank, integrating the whole thing into the module, I mean, I guess it works because it doesn't cause me any problems, you know, works fine. You can't change a clogged fuel filter, although that doesn't really happen on these trucks because they got rid of the fuel filter, put it in the tank, so I guess it's always being cleaned, you know, sloshing around gas. I don't know what they did, but either way, you don't have an external fuel filter anymore, and it seems to work just fine. All right, so here's the fuel filter right here. This is an old one I got off. This is like a AC Delco one or a Wix one. I probably put a Wix one on here. I've been known to use a lot of Wix filters, either way. So you gotta get your wrench on there, you know, you gotta get the right one. Call these like a flared, fully boxed in wrench. We call these like a flare line wrench, you know, so like a box wrench. But you know, for these on the outside here, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get your regular wrench, but for the actual fuel lines, you need to get the right size wrench because that's what strips out, that's what gets damaged. So this is too big. I don't remember what size it is right off the top of my head. Just get you a set. And yeah, we'll just put a wrench on there to hold this, and then you'll break the other one free like this under the truck so that you don't strip it out, because if you damage those lines under the truck, you got a mess that you got to fix. So either way, here's the filter. If you've never seen one on one of these trucks, it's because you don't have one, because they got rid of it. Man, we're starting quite the collection, huh? Kubota excavator, got that thing covered, won't stop raining. As soon as it stops raining, I'll get back in, you know, the bushings and stuff like that. Want to show you all that, but man, oh man, we need to get us some more Cateyes. Still looking for a Duramax. Give me a Duramax so we can tow our Kubota excavator. That thing looks good. So, there is your fuel filter location tips. It's not going to be anywhere else. It's not hidden. That's where they are. Frame rail, driver's side, frame rail, driver's side, you know, kind of in the middle of the frame rail. But if you got one, you find one, you can swap it out, get you a new fuel filter, should be good to go. So I don't know why they removed the fuel filters on the newer trucks. You know, they were fine on these older 99 to 2002 Chevy engines, the Vortec V8 engines, you know. But every time you went to change those fuel filters, you would get a gasoline bath. You know, you lay up under it and then or stand up under it, whatever, drain out everywhere. Man, they made such a mess. Maybe that's why they got rid of them. I don't know. Either way, they don't got them on the newer Cateyes. All right, so here's a fuel pump module out of 2006 Chevy Silverado. So, you know, they say the filter is in the bottom right here, in the bottom of the module. So, you know, good luck. You're not replacing a filter in here. You think you're gonna drop the tank, take a filter out of here. You're not. Trust me, I just tried to take the whole thing apart. You know, it's not how this works. You know, you got to swap out your fuel pump, goes bad, swap it out. You got a fuel sending unit that doesn't read right, swap it out. You know, clogged fuel filter, not a reason to swap out these modules. It's not a problem that occurs. Basically, on these 06s, you don't have to worry about clogged fuel filters. Guys keep saying, you know, my fuel filter is clogged, you know. That doesn't happen on these trucks. Maybe that's why they redesigned this thing, but here is a different one. Now this is gonna be off of your 2002 Chevy Avalanche, same one in the video. It actually has a strainer on the bottom of it too. I mean, that's really all it is, a strainer. Probably, they claim it's got a strainer built into the bottom of here. But I mean, that is your fuel filter. And it also has the external one too, so you know it's filtered as it's going up here, then goes out to the injectors. The filter is there. It goes out to the injectors. That's where that filter was, you know, right here. So sucks up, filters, filtered, twice filtered. You know, these, they say there's a strainer in here, keep the large debris out of the injectors, but you know, that's what it is with the newer ones. These modules, you got to get the whole thing, swap it out, drop the bed, unfortunately. So, you know, between the two, honestly, the 2002 setup's better. Double filtration, man. Get you some nice clean fuel. See how black and dirty it is. But, you know, in practice, okay, the 06 is fine. They're fine. They redesigned it. It works. I mean, it works. Go figure, right? But it's got a strainer in here to keep all the large stuff out of the injectors. And then up at the injectors, on the top of the injectors, they got little filters in them too. Here's a fuel injector right here. In top of there, you have a little filter, very hard to see on camera, but you know, this is off of a 2002, but the 06s have that little filter in there too. So you're just trying to filter the fuel so it doesn't clog up those little holes in the bottom of the injector. That's all these fuel filters are doing, is keeping those clear so that they can get a nice atomized spray of gasoline coming out of the injector. That is the whole purpose of filtering these fuels, to make sure you don't clog up these holes, because if you do, then the whole truck will not run right at all. So as far as these modules go, and these injectors go, and these fuel filters go, and all this stuff, you know, those holes right there, man, they are so small. You can't even see them on camera, right in the center of the screen. I've seen these get clogged up with rust more than anything, believe it or not. The hoses, the fuel lines on the top of the engine, on the older trucks, they rust because they're not stainless steel, and these things will fill up with little rust particles. I'll show you one of those tubes here in a second. But, you know, as far as fuel filters go, set it and forget it on the newer trucks. Kind of better. I like it anyways. So here's the fuel rail right here. They're plastic. That can't clog the injectors, but this one right here, since we're talking about fuel filtration, I mean right before you get to the injectors, this manifold right here is a stainless one. I've upgraded it. So if you see a black one, it's gonna be rusty on the inside, guaranteed. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna clog the tops of your injectors, where I showed you in that little filter. So on top of the engine, you're gonna wanna look, see if you see that shiny one up there like that. Connects both sides of the injectors together. If you see a black one, you know, it's gonna be rusty. You gotta get you a stainless one and swap it out. But we got plenty clean fuel on this Vortec engine. So that's it for the video. Check your frame rail, see if you got a fuel filter on there. Really, you can go off the years, but you know, always check. Sometimes, you know, they say like 2002 to 2002.5 or something. You might have one down there. You know, there's different configurations, but either way, now you know how to check to see if you have an external fuel filter on your Chevy truck. I will check you on the next video. Don't forget to drop me a huge thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more Chevy truck tip videos in the future. Later.